Hey guys, what is going on? It is Ando, and I am the beginner that decided to create a YouTube channel while having very little experience playing Diablo 4. But there's a reason for all that, so I'll get into that in a little bit later. But I really wanted this video to be sort of a background of me, and then just a seasonal overview of what I've seen so far playing Diablo 4. I've really enjoyed it. That's the long and the short of it. But I played about 7 hours this season, and again, I just wanted to kind of create this video and create this YouTube channel because I thought it'd be pretty interesting to kind of document where we came from, what kind of led us here, and just the journey along the way. So I guess we'll start with a little background on myself. I played a lot of Diablo 2 and the expansion. I was 11 years old when it was released, and I did not know what I was doing, but I was really just captivated by the gameplay. Just this idea that, my little character was going to get stronger pending what upgrades and things like that I gave him. So I always did like this game, the collecting of, weapons and knowing the stats and the math behind it. That was always interesting to me because it gave it a depth that, at that time, gaming, it was pretty rare to find. So for Diablo 2 and the expansion, I was mostly a necromancer. And I think most of that came to the fact that I loved having my little army of skeleton minions and stuff following me around. But as I kind of expanded and I waited until Diablo 3 came out, I moved on to Demon Hunter. That was like my main, but I did try the Barb, and obviously once the expansion came out, I definitely tried the Necromancer itself. But I became a Demon Hunter main. I just loved the gameplay. I loved having a little bit more skill involved. The kiting. For all those that know what Demon Hunters were in D3, they were the definition of glass cannon most seasons. They could not tank at all. And it created a desire in me that I wanted to try and bring some skill into that class, because of all the things that it required, and for you to not, basically get hit at all. So yes, I typically love that range and dexterity class. So as I said before, I'm basically a beginner in Diablo 4. I have tried it before. Obviously I bought it. I bought the expansion as well, hoping that I could get into it, especially since I have this big background in Diablo. But I have to be honest, I just couldn't get into it. Those first few seasons, I would get to like level 40 and I couldn't get into it. I know some of that was just on my own behalf, just because I didn't do the research. I wasn't watching, the videos and going and getting the guides. But I wanted to kind of figure it out. Diablo 3 lended itself way more towards that because of I'm going to call it the simplicity of the game. However, it's all frame of reference. I know there's some games out there that have way more complex systems than Diablo 4. But to me, this was a big, complex system that I just did not know how to comprehend. There was just so much to me that I just didn't get. Diablo 3 just seemed way more straightforward. And so because of that, I think it just didn't sink its teeth into me. And, I also credit some of that to, I started out with classes that probably didn't lend themselves to what my game style is. So I started with a Necromancer, just for the callback to my D2 days. And it's just the pace of the Necromancer just seems like it's so slow. His movement speed seems so slow. He can do crazy damage. He can do some really cool things. And I'm sure there's just builds that I just was not paying attention to, but I just could not seem to make a fast Necromancer, and it just made the game not as enjoyable for me. And then I created a barbarian. I had some, experience with barbarian in Diablo 3, so I thought maybe that would be, something that could get me interested. I had some okay experience with that, but again, just nothing that could sink its teeth into me. And then I don't know why, but I just tried a sorcerer, and that was just awful for me. I just could not get into that at all. And so I guess nothing fit me. Some of that was for me, like, why I couldn't get into the game. But then I think the biggest thing is that I do remember all those times in Diablo 2, in any game that I really play, Diablo 3, I play first person shooter games, all these different types of games. And I really do gain a sense from the community, gaming with friends, etc. And everyone that I had from D3 just didn't play anymore, or they were playing something like Path of Exiles. And that to me was just a no-brainer for me, because again, complexity being an issue, I just figured, I can't really play Path of Exile. So those are the reasons why D4 never worked for me before. So now we're going to get into the seasonal theme here, which I can say that I'm really, really enjoying so far, but I think there's also some other things that play into this. The leveling seems better to me. So season 7 so far, the leveling seems really good. I wasn't even trying to be very efficient, and it seems like I got to level 60 within 4 or 5 hours, and I'm sure you could get faster than that, but that is fantastic, at least comparative to what I was doing before. The game is still big, but this is probably like my third or fourth attempt at this, so I probably have a little bit better understanding of, okay, so there's no greater rift, or there's no this, or there's no that, but here's what I can do instead. And so I do have a better understanding, and I also just have to give a big shout out to the d4builds.gg. I mean, that has been a huge revelation for me personally. And then the class that I picked, I went with Rogue just because I started to actually look at, okay, what is my class? What does a dexterity class look like? What's just funny, because the build right now that I'm running is not really anything to do with that. But that being said, I am just really enjoying it because of that pace. But again, it's fast movement. It's fun to play. It reminds me of a whirlwind barb, but just with a little bit more squish. So what I'm running currently right now in season 7, and what this video footage is showcasing, is I am running the Dance of Knives Rogue, which again, credit to Rob2628, who's a big influence inside of Diablo 4. I know he's big inside the community, so I'm sure I don't have to give him a introduction. But and then again to d4builds.gg. So far, I am loving it. It feels OP, as you can see through the footage. Most of this is done on normal, but I have pushed up into, I believe, Torment 1 right now. And it's working out for me so far. So it feels good to push content early with meaningful upgrades early on. And that's what I'm talking about with the pace of the game. That was missing, before this. That's what it felt like was missing. And so I'm glad that they seem to figure that out. Or at least in my eyes, they have. Again, maybe I didn't play all the seasons beforehand. Maybe this isn't the best that it's been, but this is the best I've seen it. The only con that I have right now of season 7 is, because the headhunt is kind of the season theme, it feels like it could get a little repetitive, which these games can do, but that's to be expected with games like this, and especially once we start to push the other content. But right now, that's my only con. So that's just a little intro to me and kind of where we are with this seasonal theme, guys. Appreciate you guys watching. Would appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.